Good morning guys and welcome back to the channel. Today we are going to talk about the topic called creativity, one of the important topic from your Eklavya Model Residential School examination and PRIT examination as well. So what we are going to discuss today in today's video is creativity. We will discuss about the various definitions given by the different psychologists. We will discuss about the concept of creativity and the relationship between creativity and intelligence. This is what we are going to cover in this video. Alright guys, so first we try to understand what the creativity is here, right? So what is mentioned over here, the creativity can be described as the capacity or ability of an individual to create. Okay, in simple word, it has been described as a capacity or ability of an individual to create, discover or produce a new novel ideas or objects, including the rearrangements or reshaping of what is already known to him. Okay, which proves to be a unique personal experience. The whole difference between construction and creation. Okay, this is exactly stated by Charles Dickens. Okay, and what the Charles Dickens is one of the famous English writer, and what he has said about the creativity, he said that a thing constructed can only be loved after it is constructed, but a thing created is loved before it exists. This is a very literal way of putting it. Actually, this has nothing to do with the scientific connection, because the Charles Dickens has been an English literature writer, right? So the concept is quite different here. Anyway, let's see ahead. Further, we have the various definitions of creativity given by the various psychologists. Okay, the first we have the Spearman. What the Spearman says, that creativity is the power of human mind to create new contents by transforming relations and thereby generating new correlates. Okay, this is the first definition. Second definition, it says, according to Drevdahl, he said creativity is the capacity of a person to produce composition, products or ideas which are essentially new or novel and previously unknown to the producer. Now, according to Barrett, he says, this is the third definition here, that creativity is an adventurous thinking or a getting away from the main track, breaking out of the mold, being open to experience and permitting one thing to lead to another. Number 4 definition given by David Osbill, he says creativity is a generalized constellation of intellectual abilities, personality, variables and problem solving trait. So Walsh and Kogan said that creativity lies in producing more association and in producing more that are unique. So according to Stein, what Stein says, he says that creativity is a process which results in novel work. Novel means any novelty, any new thing. Okay, that is accepted as a tenable. Okay, tenable to useful or satisfying a group of people at the same point of time. So any new activity which can satisfy, okay, a group of people, okay, at some point of time. Okay, that has been defined as a creativity by Stein. Further, Ply and Olds says creativity is the ability to see new things in a new and unusual light. Okay. Okay guys, further we have the concept of creativity. So every person thinks in the terms of different levels of creativity, and thus the word creativity remains surrounded by a great deal of confusion. Since a person can behave creatively in many ways, it is also strange that there are definitions of creativity, many definitions of creativity. There is no one definition. Okay, and the creativity is many, so the definitions are also many. It is not like that creativity can only be in the field of art. Creativity can be in the field of cooking, it can be in the field of music, it can be field of anything else. But there is no universally accepted definition, okay, which has been created for creativity. Now, to give a bird eye view, means a quick view of the overall functions of creativity, its definition will be broadly divided into the 5 groups. Okay, and these are the 5 groups which are given over here. We will discuss them one by one. Alright. Your first point we have that the creativity is a talent. So Carl Roger defined the creative process as an action of the rational and novel products. Okay, And another psychologist, that is Roots, defined the creativity as a process of talent found in some individual. Okay, what he says is a process of talent which has been found in an individual. The next second definition of it defines the creativity as a process. So Maslow, he stated that creativity is a process which is pre-conscious rather than conscious and include elements of checking and corrective process. Now why it has been called here pre-conscious? Because when there is a creativity, so first thing which you have in your mind is your ideas. Okay, that idea has already taken place somewhere, and that is why you are able to create. Okay, like for an example, if the airplane was invented, so the idea was already there in the mind of the human beings, right? The human has always have a desire of flying like a bird. So now that idea has been changed into the creativity. And Taylor Chamber described creative thinking as a process which has been considered as bipolar. Okay. Now, what is this bipolar? It's related to suffering from or connected with. Okay. It's considered as bipolar, in which the interaction between the person and the environment will be studied. Means what is the connection between a person and environment, that is studied. Okay, as per the Taylor Chamber. Now, creativity as a novel ideas. Now, Thurston, Stein, and Riney describe creativity as novel ideas, means the new ideas, according to them. Creativity involves responses to that of novelty, is statistically frequent to some extent of adaptation. It is concerned with something which is new rather than unexpected or non-traceable. Now, creativity as a new thinking. So, Geisel held the view that creativity consisted of the two important components, according to him. Okay, and what these two important components are, the one is convergent thinking and another is divergent thinking. Now, if I talk to you about this term called convergent, the term convergent is derived from the word called converge, which is a verb. Okay, and if any idea or a thought, okay, or any idea or any thoughts are converged, they become very similar to the or the same. It means they are, if any idea or something, okay, is converged, it means they are similar or same in simple words. And the divergent word is derived from the or I can say the opposite of converge is diverge. Diverge means to be different. Okay, so divergent thinking is different. Now what it says, the convergent thinking refers to the intellectual ability, whereas the divergent thinking refers to the method adopted by individual to attain their goals and objectives. So different methods are there of achieving the goal. Like for an example, if some students are giving exam, so one may be a studious or industrious student, he or she will work hard, and another maybe want to cheat in this regard, so he can or she can cheat also, right? So methods are different there of achieving the goal. Now, further it says the Torrens describe creative thinking as the capacity of sensing the gaps in missing elements, identifying the difficulties, searching for solution, formulating hypotheses, testing and retesting them, and finally communicating the result. Okay guys, now we are going to talk about the relationship between creativity and intelligence, that what is the interrelation between these two. So most of have generally concept of what intelligence is, but similar to the intangible concept. Okay, now what is this intangible over here? It's an adjective, means that exists but that is difficult to describe something. Okay, opposite of that is tangible. If I remove this word in from this, it will become tangible. So it's an intangible concept, which is something difficult to understand, of as like happiness and love. Okay, our personal definition of intelligence is influenced by our own understanding of the concept. Okay, now some common notions or the ideas, okay, which are associated, notions means ideas associated with the intelligences are, the intelligence is the capacity to learn, it is the faculty of understanding, an aptitude of grasping task, intelligence is the general knowledge and wisdom, it is the ability to reason, intelligence is the mental ability and quick cognitive or mental response. Now, creativity is another term influenced by our own viewpoint of the world and is open to personal interpretation. However, the term itself is usually described as one's ability to think of original ideas and concepts. Man has devised a number of instruments to try and test for intelligence. The most notable of them is the IQ test. Okay, IQ test is one of the way in right we can measure the intelligence. Creativity has proven to be comparative harder to test, and hence there are fewer scientific testing instruments to check creativity. Means we don't have enough instrument for the measuring intelligence. Now, what it says further that since from the time 1950s, the scientists are trying at their level best to find the relationship between intelligence, okay, and creativity. So it says that the scientists began trying to find a link between creativity and intelligence, but all the published correlations between the two concepts were low enough to justify treating intelligence and creativity as distinct cognitive attribute. From long discussions of the use of various tests and inventors of measuring and assessing the mental level of children and adults coming from different environments, the impression probably is that the mental level of an individual in terms of IQ can be determined and that intelligence can be measured. Okay, so only way to measure intelligence is with the help of IQ. All right. So this is what about the relationship between the creativity and intelligence. Thank you for watching and have a nice day.